Greetings, I'm Pillar Nexus Ancient Gladiator, and today I will be reviewing my YouTube shorts for my Pillar Game Shorts project because, trying to do a video in a minute, I'm going to miss some things. And I just want to kind of review my thoughts on each one and what I'm glad I covered and what I regret screwing up. Here we go. So, Terraforming Mars was the first one, and I think I did as well as I could with it. Play as a corporation? No. Play as the head of a corporation, and with the cards, emphasizing that it's the blue cards that get you the actions, and the orange event cards that are one time only. And also, I don't think I emphasized enough the importance of tags. Those tags are critical to goals and other prerequisites. And then there's also like hidden points to get through the blue cards and other cards as well. But overall, I think I did pretty well with Terraforming Mars. Okay, Clash of Cultures. I was having a hard time keeping the camera focused on what I was trying to flip up and all that, and I probably could have shown like putting the buildings around the settlements that are in play and all that. I did not demonstrate the battle system at all, and I failed to emphasize that you know sure the advancements are worth points, but they actually do stuff for you that helps you with the goals you're trying to achieve in the game. Just saving time, getting better resources, getting access to buildings. That's the point that really needs to be emphasized. Is a lot of these the top advancements, the categories. The first one is critical to getting access to new buildings, and also you need settlements, more settlements to have bigger cities to actually make use of those buildings. Okay, so Hyperborea got kind of halfway, I think. I forgot that I should have shown the cubes actually being put in the bag and then drawn, but I didn't have a lot of time to work with. My big screw up with Hyperborea was not putting all the ghosts out, because even the cities where you get to just do stuff, those get ghosts as well. I didn't have a chance to demonstrate the whole battle system, but it's pretty straightforward. You just use a sword icon to eliminate something. But yeah, there's also the rest of the scoring for Hyperborea, which is all the cubes you have that aren't waste cubes, where you are on the map with controlling stuff, and winning battles and ghosts, defeating ghosts. Okay, Concordia actually did pretty well with. The one thing I missed was the production bonus specialty of having the Perfectus Magnus, I think, and also the bonuses of once you flip over a region, you can't produce there, but if you can choose to take all the flipped over money being shown instead as an option. But I think I covered it pretty well. I think there were some moments where I kind of stumbled verbally and probably should have fixed that. But overall, pretty good Concordia. Okay, Sanctum was all right. I should have been showing that you need to put the actual gems onto the items to use them, and I wish I'd had more room to work with for putting out the uh, last two boards to show the end game. But overall, I think I did decently. I should point out that those dice, if you haven't seen like my full length video for it, um, the dice I have showing are not the dice that come with the game. I like to replace wooden dice and dice that there just aren't enough of. Lords of Waterdeep, pretty straightforward, pretty smooth. No real complaints. I left out the one detail of every round, the buildings that are still there on the Builder's Hall are worth more points when someone builds them. And also at the halfway point, players get an extra agent. But I think I covered what needed to be covered for that game as well as I could. Diplomacy is alright. Should I have listed the countries? Maybe. Um, there's there's a lot to diplomacy despite its simplicity that I'm not sure how well I can cover that. But yeah, the point of working together until it's time to not work together. There's also one thing I left out. It is entirely possible for the players remaining in the game to declare a stalemate and just call the end of the game there. And that's probably the one of the more efficient ends to the game instead of letting it drag out past a point that nobody really can get past. Also, I didn't really bring up the convoying thing. And one of these days I'm going to have to seriously play this game and figure it out better than what I got from just simply reading about it. Shadowhunters is like almost perfect. The one point that it's kind of clear when you look at it, but I should have emphasized it a little more clearly. You can only fight someone who's in that same little 2-location region that you're in. But overall, I think I covered it as well as I can. And victory conditions. You want as shadows, you're trying to eliminate the hunters. Hunters, you're trying to eliminate the shadows. Neutrals, you're just trying to accomplish whatever your secret goal is. So, yeah, I think I did pretty well with this one. Age of Conan. Okay, there's so with regard to winning the game, I covered Empire points. I covered Crown the Dead tokens. I left out the adventure token majority bonus at the end, and the fact that you can crown Conan. I left out the fact you can bid for that. You bid for Conan as well, using strategy cards. I stumbled over the treasures, calling them items instead, whatever. Um, and just the age change as well. There's a lot to this game, and it's hard to cover in 1 minute. I did decently, but it's again 1 minute is really hard to get everything for this game. Go is all right. I guess I had trouble keeping the camera focused on where I was placing the stones sometime. And point I should emphasize is that you're alternating playing one stone at a time. Playing all the stones at once to surround something isn't an actual gameplay feature. I was just doing it for the demonstration of, hey, here's how a stone gets captured. And also left out stuff like the stalemate situation, and you can't place where you got previously captured unless it changes the board state completely differently. Shogi, yeah, I kind of had a dummy set for demonstration purposes, but I should point out that actual shogi sets may not be as generous with demonstrating how the pieces work. Also, I didn't really get to show the piece getting captured. I just took the piece off the board. Really, a piece is going to capture by moving in and taking the piece. So I kind of screwed up a little bit there, but otherwise, it's all right. Okay, War Chest was all right. The extra control point being on the board and then you taking it off and putting it back down to say having your units take control. I should have actually taken a unit chip and moved it to that point and then put the new control point underneath it the way it was showing, and I just kind of rushed it. Also, I should have had the bookmark or something to keep that book open to show, hey, here's where the famous battles setups are, so I could get to it without struggling to open the book with one hand. Okay, Infamy was actually pretty good. I just missed on the Watchdogs blocking movement, and the order of priority for multiple people going to the same location is the contact cards. But otherwise, I think captured it as best I could. Um, I forgot about the henchman for me, but just kind of a small thing that very rarely hits anyway. Hiroshima Hex was all right. I did not go over armor or nets. Also, using the action tiles is entirely optional. Also, if I was going to do this on the first turn, uh, I would have only had one tile to draw anyway, I think, or something. And then if I was going to be doing that, all three of those tiles in one turn. Like, no, there's no way. At that point, I'd probably end up discarding the medic module and just deploy the ranged guy and battle and hit the HQ twice for all the damage. Uh, yeah, I wish I could had more time to show more, but that's what the longer video is for. All right, so New Angeles was okay. I forgot the player investments are part of how you get capital, and your company contracts with the city are how you get more capital. So it helps to have actions to do the actions that get you the capital, but also take care of the problem too. Um, it's it's a tricky balance of a game. You want to try to win, but you can't let the city collapse because of the threat. Okay, cities was pretty smooth. Just left out the bits of the loss conditions. Running out of money, getting into negative happiness on your board, getting into negative happiness on the actual tracker. Um, but yeah, overall, it's probably a decent one. Although dropping the piece didn't help. Okay, Revolution I did pretty good. I just missed out that the end condition for the game is filling out all the locations for support. But I think this one got put across pretty well. Also, I left out the limits on um, how many people you can bid on each turn, but not really a big deal. Yeah, I'm kind of kicking myself on Heart of Crown. I needed to cover the link arrows because that is such a critical part of the game. You know, yeah, it's important to back a princess and all that, but the link arrows are probably one of the defining features of the game that adds to the strategy, and I really should have covered it. Yeah, I think I did all right with anachronism. I stumbled on my words a little bit, but I got the point across. Flip up a card each turn. Move, roll dice to attack. Your opponent rolls dice to defend. And I don't think I mentioned the elements because the elements don't really seem to play that much of a part in the game, which is kind of weird. I almost I've I don't think I've really seen a whole lot that plays with the elements, but maybe there's just some stuff I haven't seen in the game yet. There's a lot. There's a lot to this game. Yeah, I did good with Acquire. I probably should have said 41 for the size instead of saying super big, and make that more clear. But I think I got the point across pretty well. Okay, I forgot the freaking market for Planet Steam. Um, the market is like one of the critical parts of the game. And then I screwed up on the airship. It only affects steam tanks in a single row. And yeah, I'm looking. I watched analytics a little too much, I think, And I have no reason, no understanding of why Planet Steam did not get picked the hell up by the algorithm. I don't know what happened. It only has one view because I freaking launched it. So I don't know. I don't know if maybe I should try sharing it or something. But it's just weird to when even my freaking bedroom organization short that's just kind of a trial thing of I wonder how shorts work still has more freaking views than this. It's like, what happened? I gotta figure it out. Okay, Call to Adventure. Wow, my nose just sounds so plugged up. Jeez. Uh, I also left out the end game condition of getting 3 cards under your last stacked card in the scoring system as well. But it was all right. That's the best I could do with a plugged up nose. But I'm halfway tempted to redo it, but I've already uploaded it. Okay, Arcana went all right. I left out bribery and being able to place face down in the districts closest to you. But the other major parts of the game, bidding and the points at the end, got covered. So that's what matters. So it is really hard to squeeze in all that in a minute, though. Okay, Citadels was actually pretty good. I just left out the one detail um, that the roles are chosen from a specific grouping. Like you'll have like at the start of the round, some cards face up and one face down, and you'll have the rest to choose from. And it starts with the king. Starts with whoever is crowned and is passed around. And yeah, I left out that one detail, but otherwise, I think I hit what I need to hit for Citadels. Yeah, I think I covered the Night Cage as best I could. Um, Having to constantly move pieces and shuffle things around would not be practical for getting stuff done in a minute. So I've got some tiles placed where people don't have line of sight, and I'm hoping that doesn't cause too much confusion. But the idea of find the keys, get to the gate, avoid the enemies. Also, I forgot to bring up nerve. Nerve is a critical thing to have, but you get it by staying still. And if you're staying still on a crumbling tile, it turns into a pit and you're falling, which might save your butt in the end and help you better coordinate stuff with your fellow players. Or it might just cause more trouble than it's worth. You never know. Okay, Runbound, second edition. I think I covered it pretty well. Um, I left out the combat system, and also I call them enemies and opportunities. I'm not sure if there's. I forgot what the actual name for the are they encounters or is it something else? But yeah, I think I did all right with Runbound. Um, I I left out like all the expansion stuff, but in terms of what I'm talking about, but um, yeah, I might make a video out of the expansions that I picked up for my small dumb purchase recently. Soccer arms I covered pretty well, I think. When you only have a minute, I can't really go over all the combinations and um, all the special cases and all that. So I think I did pretty well. I should emphasize this is the older version from AEG. Um, I've got the newer version now, and I've already made a video out of that one. But yeah, it's still a good game, whichever set you end up with. Starlight Stage went as perfectly as I could make it go. I think I left out the at the start of your turn you can flip up an extra card, but yeah, it's that the whole setup of having that one I'll get the token, one get the event, another get the new idol, and then the new idol has that ability to work with another one to get the fame. So that demonstration was perfect. I'm very happy I got that done in like what 49 seconds. Wow. Yeah, Splendor. I think I nailed that one pretty well. Um, did I remember saying how many points it was to win? In a normal game, it's 15, but the city's module actually twists that into a different condition. But overall, I think I did all right. Maybe a little bit of hesitation on some of the words, but I think I got it. Cloud Fantasy covered it as well as I could. With it's kind of hard to like try to throw and try to make a decent video out of this for the short anyway. Um, so actual throwing method I should probably cover at some point. And yeah, this you know getting the point across. You want to have stuff come into play and then stay into play. If it's worth clout points at least, because that's how you're gonna win. But I think I did all right. Okay, on my card games, did okay. Um, I left out details on like being able to fight players or trade with them in locations, limits on advantage cards and characters in your party, the fact that you need to complete at least one quest before going on to the final mission. And I left out the expansion stuff completely because it's um, just because it's so weird. But I think I covered it decently. ML I covered decently. I didn't really explain the vassalage process or the advantages, but it is a critical point to victory for sure. The deep trouble for having a knight die without an error is something I glossed over and should have used the last few seconds to explain it. Okay, Ventura, I did all right. Just a little elaboration on spending money. It's an actual phase where you spend money just for points, and it takes out of your um, ability to hire more people. But at the same time, you're already running with the game. You probably don't need to worry too much about it. The other thing is missed out on describing battle, which I had plenty of time to do. The order you secretly order your units, and then do the range, do the melee, possibly run away, and then do more melee. But overall, I think I got the ideas down. Although I keep thinking maybe pointing out the terrain, how the terrain works as well. Could have been something else I could have done at the time. Britannia, short and sweet. I got pretty much everything I needed to get for that one. Elaboration on the population, though. The non-rough terrain is worth 2. The rough terrain is worth 1. And every 6 you get gets you a new population. But yeah, I had everything I needed to for Britannia. Silverton was pretty good. I think I left out the bit of your claims can run out, and I called them mines instead of claims. Um, and ultimately, that the goal is to make money. Should be pretty clear from showing the market in the pasture routes and all that. I did not just talk about the winter turns and how those throw a wrench into things, and also surveyor prospector conflicts as well. But overall, I think I got what I needed to. Okay, route was decent, but I forgot to mention dominance cards as another victory condition. Um, I don't think I really covered the cards, crafting the cards either. But I was trying to run through everything quick. Fallout, I covered the best I could. Didn't bring up the factions, what how they get stronger as the game goes on. Um, I left out the cooperative aspect of Atomic Bonds because that's not the core game, but I wish I could emphasize that the Atomic Bonds part of the game is absolutely critical to having an experience that I think is way better. Game of Thrones board game was okay. I did not get to cover the combat aspect um, because I just didn't have enough time. Also, I should have mentioned with the other Dragons expansion, it adds in House Aaron or Arryn as well. But I think it got most of it. Yeah, I think I got pretty much everything for Warcraft. I left out the some of the expansion special stuff like doing spell research instead. I don't think I showed off the cards, the deck of cards too well for the players because they do various things. Um, I left out the roll for resources mechanic from the pre-expansion uh, version, but I think got most of it. I should have went into better detail in the battle because ranged, then flying, then melee in that order, and melee can't hurt flying units um, without a card effect. Okay, Great Western Trail. I don't know if it's clear, but I should emphasize that it's a deck builder, and the cows you get are random, but you know what's in your deck at the start of the game, and managing that deck is critical to getting further along in the game. Also, the job market um, is the timer. As soon as it hits the end, then the game's pretty much over, and then the players will have a last chance to do something for points. All right, I covered the flow for Endeavor pretty well. Uh, I didn't point out the one thing that I would point out in this game, and maybe people will probably notice when it's clear. But also the points. I forgot to mention that you got to hit certain levels on your track for points. You can also get points from certain buildings and locations you control and places between them and all that. But I covered the main stuff, and that should be all right. Last Schwartz was all right. I didn't have time to go into the details of each type of attack, and also I forgot to mention that the soul points are added to the soul points added that are on the characters themselves. It's worth noting that level 3 characters tend to have 2 soul points, and anything less than that has a 1. Um, uh, it's almost like I need to have a second short just to cover the battle aspect. Descent, one of the things I forgot to point out was that cards from the Overlord side can be sold for threat tokens. Um, and then there's actually rolling to attack. I left out the details on that one. It's also worth noting that the room being set up uh, that doesn't happen in the game. Um, it's they have to open the door first, and then the room gets set up. But I want to have something shown on that first room, just to get the point across. This is how a room layout might be. All right, StarCraft. I hit everything I needed to hit for StarCraft. Um, I don't know if it's just that stupid ass expensive because I don't know what the age audience people is going to be watching, but it was, it was just caught in the moment. I didn't resolve the battle, but at least I had it set up. Didn't point out that the special orders, the other ones, are limited based on certain modules. And I should have pointed out that some of the technologies are put into play while others are shuffled into your deck. But I, I think I had everything that needed to be had for this. I didn't need to, but I almost wanted to point out the expansion also has special scenarios, which I think are kind of interesting. Eclipse, I think I did that pretty well. I didn't feature the other player, on the, as part of the map. I just wanted to get out as few components as necessary because there's a lot to this game, and um, I don't know if I really went over the actions as well as I could have. The spending money, it's not per action. It's depending on where your circles are. The most expensive circle that's uncovered when you go to collect income is what you're going to owe out of what you receive. And it's worth pointing out that if you have a surplus of money, then that gives you more room to work with. But sometimes there's that strategy of trying to save up and prepare for a turn to do even more. Resident Zero Dawn went all right. I covered the main things except for the actual actions you get to do, which, move, distract, craft, and all that. Should emphasize that it's also a deck builder of sorts, and making sure not to take too much damage because it runs cards off your deck, and if you hit an empty deck, you are knocked out. And depending on how many players you have, it can lead to instant failure or really just set the whole group back. It's weird because you kind of have to work together, but only one person can actually win unless you're playing true cooperative, in which case there's no room for error. Eve Conquest, I hit the major stuff. I should have explained how outposts are built. I should have shown more on the political landscape. Say, hey, 2 in a column or 2 in a row to show ones that are actually take. Also, taking cards from an opponent, you have to defeat one of their outposts, and the card you get is based on the value of that outpost. And then combat, that you get a die per chip in the combat, and then an extra one if you're defending with a headquarters or outpost. I regret saying, "Oh, hey, this is going to be the last of the Pillar Game short series," because you know what I did after this one? Anachronism. Realized, oh crap, I forgot one. And then I showed that episode when I had an opening somewhere in the middle, and I probably have 2 more shorts I might end up putting in as well. We'll see. We'll see if we actually get those in there, but I think this is going to be it for the series. I might just really call it the end right here. All right. So in conclusion, trying to make a 1-minute video covering as much as possible about a game is hard. I'm gonna miss things. I'm gonna miss fine details. So I do the best I can with just covering what I think is important, or at least what I remember. And then hope it gets people curious about checking out the actual games, because I love board games and I want to see more people playing board games, and it'd be nice to have more people coming into the store where we're hanging out and playing games with us for fun and all that. We're coming on to the next board game league, and it's just where is everybody? I understand people might be taking this week off because it's the off week. But it's just hard to. I don't know what it's going to take. Maybe we just need to have a non-league group playing as well to bring people in and just play for fun and not have the pressure of the league with its cost and all that. Granted, we kind of play for fun ourselves. We don't take it too seriously, even though it's a new board game on the line. But it's just how do I get people to come into the game store and not feel pressured to join the league, but to be aware of the league as a thing and have the power to consider it or just play for fun on Tuesdays. I don't know. But it's fun doing this little project. It was a challenge for sure. Working on it through like late January through early March, and started or through early February, and then start uploading stuff. And it was an interesting challenge, and that is one of the things I've said before in my mission statement of becoming an online content creator is I need to challenge myself. And that's what I did. And I think I did all right. So I just want to say thank you all for watching. And I'm massively grateful to everyone who gave even 1 second of their time. Thank you. And look forward to more stuff coming on the channel later. I will be trying my best to figure out what to do next. But anyway, let's have fun. All right. Thanks for watching. This has been Pillar Nexus. More accurately, thank you for listening. And we'll see you next time.